Back, you're watching The Nation at 9. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaking at Vigyan Bhavan today at a function addressing many delegates has touched upon the need to ban oral triple talaq in one sitting as well. This is being seen as a renewed push by the Prime Minister, who rarely talks about it but has spoken about this more than twice in just under a week. He said that leaders from within the community should come forward and help ban this regressive practice. The appeal was wide-ranging. It was also very amenable. But there are angles to be explored here. The critics of this move say that the Prime Minister is talking about bipartisan support, cross-community support, but there are some members of his own party that are making it vitriolic and making it pungent, the discourse, I mean. We'll explore that in just a bit here. But big questions tonight, and we'll take those big questions with our panelists who will be joining us on the other side of this. But take a look at the Prime Minister and this renewed appeal by the Prime Minister to come together and have a consensus on banning oral triple talaq in one sitting. Here's a look.
भारत की मिट्टी की ताकत है कि 3 तलाक के संकट से गुजर रही हमारी माताओं बहनों को भी बचाने के लिए उसी समाज से लोग आएंगे.
PM Modi has once again batted for Muslim women, urging the community to end the practice of triple talaq.
मैं बहुत ज़्यादा मैं उनको मुबारकबाद देती हूँ, धन्यवाद देती हूँ इस देश की धर्मनिरपेक्ष तरीके से जो आपने बयान दिया है.
As Muslim women continue to fight for their rights, a petition with 1 lakh signatures of the Muslim community will be sent to the President, demanding an end to the horrifying practice.
ये 3 तलाक जो प्रथा है ये अमानविक है और संवैधानिक है. हम लोग को जो इक्वालिटी क्लॉज है संविधान में इसका पूरा खिलाफ है 3 तलाक.
हम लोग वेस्ट बंगाल का गांव में गए थे. लगभग 1 लाख का सिग्नेचर हम लोग कलेक्शन किया. उसका 1 लाख के अंदर ज्यादा से ज्यादा मुस्लिम लड़की लोग का सिग्नेचर है. वो लोग आवाज उठा रहे हैं.
While the chorus for a law on triple talaq has been growing with each passing day.
आवाज उठा रहे हैं.
While the chorus for a law on triple talaq has been growing with each passing day, PM reiterated that the issue must be kept away from politics.
The women of this country need equality. The women of this country, it's high time get their rights, and the constitution assures that too.
इसके बयान को इतना महत्व नहीं देना चाहिए. वो अपने कैरियर के लिए अपना उस पार्टी में हैसियत बनी रहे तो उनका जो भजन कीर्तन है वो गा रहा.
On the other hand, PM's appeal hasn't gone down well with the Muslim clerics.
आपके जो नेता हैं वो इस तरीके के अभद्र टिप्पणी करते हैं कुरान के ऊपर, इस्लाम के ऊपर, 3 तलाक को लेकर, मुसलमान के ऊपर. तो ऐसे में प्रधानमंत्री चूंकि पूरे देश के प्रधानमंत्री हैं, उनको चाहिए इस्लाम धर्म का भी उतना ही सम्मान करें जितना वो हिंदू धर्म का करते हैं, दूसरे धर्मों का करते हैं.
As PM Modi attempts to bring Sabka Vikas through consensus, will it further pave the way for bringing unanimity on other contentious issues? Bureau Report, NewsX.
All right, big questions tonight on The Nation at 9. The Prime Minister says don't politicize the issue. NewsX and Nation at 9 asks, is politics over triple talaq a one-way street? Are politicians from the BJP also not politicizing it? Well, the Prime Minister's call, however strong it is, mobilize consensus on this issue, the BJP says is not religious but a social issue. And question number 3 tonight, does typecasting an entire community actually defeat the purpose, especially when lower rungs of your leadership make vitriolic statements with the community in mind? Also, biggest question tonight for those Muslim groups who oppose the talaq ban respond. Will these groups respond tonight to the Prime Minister's call and the criticism that they are standing in the way of a social change? Those are the big questions tonight. Our guests have already joined us. Subranian Swamy, Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament and Senior BJP leader, will be joining us tonight. Also with us, Maqsoodul Hasan Kazmi. He's the President of the Imam Council of India. Syed J. Inayatullah will join us, Vice President in just a bit of All India Milli Council. Qazi Masoom Akhtar, Islamic scholar, is from Kolkata. He will join us as well. Shama Mohd, spokesperson of the Congress Party, will join us via Skype. Subranian Swamy, let me start with you if I could. The Prime Minister's renewed call today to the Muslim community as a whole to come forward in numbers to support the ban on oral triple talaq is a call for consensus. He's trying to reach out to those who are inaccessible for whatever manner to either the Prime Minister or the BJP's initiative to ban open triple talaq. Do you think this is capable of mobilizing consensus?
Well, certainly, because all the polls I've seen show that a very, very high proportion of Muslim women want it. And further, let me say that the Prime Minister is holding a constitutional post, and the Constitution very clearly in Article 25 says that your freedom of religion and the freedom to practice that religion is subject to three very reasonable restrictions. One on morality, two on maintaining public order, and three for the health purposes. This is highly immoral that you should treat men and women differently in the matter of rights. And triple talaq is a blatant example of inequity in the treatment of women, and therefore should be abolished.
Dr. Swamy, the critics clearly come out and say that the intention behind the BJP's stress on triple talaq and banning oral triple talaq in one sitting is not clear. There are critics who say that you're using it, the BJP is using it to mobilize some other kind of voters and targeting a community or generalizing a community for other political reasons. That's the standard argument here. Dr. Swamy, how would you counter that?
Well, we Hindus fought untouchability, and we put it into the Constitution that it is unconstitutional to practice untouchability. We have fought for women getting free access to Subranian and Guruvayur temple, and said that nothing doing, that women are entitled at any stage of their life in any monthly period to go and attend the sanctum sanctorum just like men. And so it's not that we are only targeting the Muslim community.
Fair enough.
Wherever there is gender inequality, we must all stand up.
Fair enough. Now, that's the premise. I just want to take this premise to a couple of other guests tonight, Masoom Akhtar as well as Shama Mohd, who joins us. Shama Mohd, do you accept the argument that the Prime Minister's call, which is at the core of the BJP's push for triple talaq, oral triple talaq in one sitting, is not political? He's asked the Muslim community and groups not to politicize the matter. But do you believe politicization of an issue like triple talaq is not only inevitable, but also not a one-way street? We have leaders of the BJP today come out and make statements like, and I'm going to quote that statement now, Swami Prasad Maurya says, Muslim men resort to triple talaq to quench their lust by changing wives. When Swami Prasad Maurya says this and the Prime Minister says what he said today, is there a sort of double message going in? What's the message here?
See, first and foremost, the Congress party instant triple talaq, it should go away with. We have always been fighting against this instant triple talaq, which is not even there in the Holy Quran. Now, Prime Minister says we should not politicize it, and I'm happy that he's talking about triple talaq, but let's just check what he said before the UP elections. He was politicizing it. It was all his ministers were talking about triple talaq. When the matter is in the Supreme Court, it's sub judice. Supreme Court will take a decision on that. So, but it was really hyped before the UP elections. UP elections are over. They have won the elections. Now, they don't basically care about Muslim women. So the next thing is, let's not politicize this and let the men decide, or the people in the Muslim community decide. Why this change? You know, why
well,
now?
What's wrong with the Prime? Shama Mohd, the BJP can argue what's wrong with the Prime Minister coming out again and saying that this is a social issue, don't take it as a religious issue. Why is the message diluted for you or other critics? Of course, there are Muslim groups that he's appealed to today, saying that look, progressives within the community have to come forward if this injustice is to be stopped. Now, why doubt his intent?
I agree on that. You know, these injustices have to be stopped. I agree on that. What I'm trying to say is that politicizing it, let's not politicize it. That is what he said today. And let's not politicize it. Should not have done it before the UP elections also. I agree that these injustices have to stop. He also said that injustice against Muslim women have to be stopped. But injustice against Muslim women are also when a Athar Khan is murdered, when he is doing the right thing, it's injustice to his wife. When a Muhammad Akhlaq's wife, isn't it injustice to her when he's been killed? What about that young little boy
So
in
what, your
Jharkhand
argument
who was
is the
hung?
Prime Minister
So
is
those
being
are
selective?
so those are very so those are
Is
all
your argument that the
injustices.
Prime Minister is selective?
So what
and-
I'm trying to say. Let me finish, Athar. What I'm trying to say is there are a lot of injustice against Muslim women. Of course, triple talaq is one of them. But if he talks about injustice to Muslim women, then these are also injustices to various Muslim
All right, I want
women
to get
around
the
the
Islamic
country.
scholar in now. Now, Mr. Masoom Akhtar, first off, would you say the movement really, there have been 1 million signatures, I believe, of women who happen to be Muslim coming out and saying that this is a regressive practice, they want to change as well. There is clearly no opposition to the fact that this particular law or a personal law is misused at a very, very large extent across the country. And it does happen in this country that the misuse of this, many people have called an un-Islamic practice, is just gender injustice. Now, if the Prime Minister says he wants to look at it socially, not politically, what's wrong with that? It's an appeal. Why fear it and why question it? As many have done today, no doubt. The intent, of course, is very clear. Swami Prasad Maurya's statement is no olive branch to the Muslim community, but still.
Yes. Are you talking with me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Hello.
Yes, Madam.
Yeah. You know that West Bengal is the second place of the victim of triple talaq. Especially the orally announced triple talaq is a crime of our society. We, the Bengali Muslim, has launched a last-minute drive to collect 1 lakh signature from Muslim women and men. We have already collected about 87,000 signatures from the different districts of West Bengal against this crime of triple talaq. We also organized a seminar. We are going to organize a seminar at
Are you welcoming the Prime Minister's statement? I also want to quickly go across to our other guests as well who've joined us on the panel, and from the All India Milli Council, J. Nayatullah, I think, hasn't joined us, but Maqsoodul Hasan Kazmi has. He's the President of the Imam Council of India. Maqsoodul Hasan Kazmi, how do you react? The Prime Minister was very clear today. J. Nayatullah, I think, hasn't joined us, but Maqsoodul Hasan Kazmi has. He's the President of the Imam Council of India. Maqsoodul Hasan Kazmi, how do you react? The Prime Minister was very clear today, reaching out to Islamic or Muslim groups who are opposed to the ban on oral triple talaq. What exactly is the opposition here? What exactly is the fear of your community?
In an apparent way, Prime Minister's statement is making and glorifying in an apparent way. But Prime Minister, when he said the Muslim scholars should come to end the triple talaq, he should also, it seems that he is very sincere. But the story is opposed to that. Prime Minister, when he said at the same time, his party's minister called Swami Prasad Maurya was insulting the Muslim women. He should also ask for this person to be sacked from the cabinet of Yogi cabinet. But Prime Minister should also take into account the Khaf Panchayat and the women who have been made widows in the Gujarat. And he also should include women called, I also respect Prime Minister because he is our Prime Minister. But I also, let me point finger to him. His wife...
No, I'm sorry, I will not let you do that. That is getting personal for no reason, first off. And Mr. Kazmi, you should know better. I'm not going to allow it, first off. The personal life of the Prime Minister is off limits. So I'm going to shut you down right now and go to Dr. Swamy and ask him. The argument being given before he dangerously went off the tracks, Dr. Swamy, was that the message of the Prime Minister, although largely inclusive, gets diluted when other leaders come forth and make statements to the contrary of an olive branch. Do you think that's a problem, first off, that he will admit to? Or do you think the Prime Minister's word should be enough here?
Well, I think, in a large party, you can always have some people who don't know what kind of language should be used.
Would you agree with the statement, though, Dr. Swamy, in your personal capacity?
The way you say it. No, he may be, but you see, after all, we make ministers on so many considerations other than their ability to speak in an articulate way. But I think when the Prime Minister has laid down the principles, I think that's all that counts, not what an individual member says or in a derogatory way or otherwise about this matter. So I don't think we should take that. If I had to do that with the Muslim community, the kinds of things that are coming out on YouTube about Hindu women that is being said, I can't say all Muslim men are like that. So I don't think we should give any importance to such statements.
All right, that's a very mature position you're taking, Dr. Swamy. And also, Shama Mohd, don't you think even if that criticism is taken, it does not take away from the fact that the problem of a large-scale misuse of oral triple talaq exists in the country, and there have been countries who have moved forth progressively on this with the internal consent of the community as well. So as far as the Prime Minister's speech is concerned, I would look at it clearly as an appeal to the Muslim community to come forward rather than any political haranguing there as well. Would you say that on the larger point of triple talaq being a gender injustice, the Prime Minister, not only the Prime Minister, all those Muslim women who want it banned across the country are also right to an extent?
Sir, I'm not able to hear you clearly, but whatever I've heard, I must say that, see, gender injustice is definitely there all over our country. And first and foremost, we need to codify our Muslim Personal Law, Muslim Personal Act 1937, which has not been, it's one of those which has not been changed for a long time. And because it's not codified, this guy who sits here, the Qazi or whatever, they all interpret it the way they want to. So, I mean, each one interprets it according to his whims and fancies. So first we need to codify these laws. And another thing I want to say is what Mr. Swamy said is that, you know, we are the ones who are equal to Hindus, you are equal to Muslims. He should not forget that we are the ones in 1956 and 1955 got in the Hindu Marriage Act, Hindu Maintenance Act, and there Shama Prasad Mukherjee was completely against it. He went, you know, he did not want these things, which was framed by Nehru, by Ambedkar, and of course, you know, and he was completely against it. And then in 2005, the Hindu Succession Act, we had made amendments. The Congress party, with Manmohan Singh and Sonia Ji in charge, had made amendments to that, so that girls, Hindu daughters, they are also equal partners in inheritance.
But
so
do you
we
think,
have done much more, but we don't take a bullhorn. We don't take a bullhorn and blow our whatever we have done.
And also one of my central questions which I asked, if you could put the big question on the screen yet again. We spoke about how politicization might not be a one-way street as far as sensitive issues like triple talaq are concerned. The other big question we were asking, of course, was whether or not this would lead to mobilization of some sort of consensus here, because broadly, from what I understand, what the Prime Minister is saying, largely you also believe in as well. Let's go to the second and third big question. So I want to remind the viewers what I actually mean when I say going back to one of the big questions that set the premise today for our debate. This was one: will the PM's call mobilize any consensus and response positively from Muslim groups who actually oppose it? And the other two will play out in just a bit as well. But is the danger, Shama Mohd, the generalization of an entire community, the typecasting of an entire community, either wittingly or unwittingly, does that defeat the purpose?
Typecasting of which community? The Muslim community?
If you are talking about triple talaq, it is the Muslim community. It can't be the Christian community.
No, I didn't understand your question, Athar. You have to repeat it because I have some problem with hearing you. So can you please repeat that question, please?
Okay. The typecasting an entire community and saying that the entire community is for oral triple talaq because it is regressive and conservative and not willing to change. Does that defeat the purpose in getting out the message to the people who will actually effect change?
No, this is completely not done, because the whole Muslim community,
but is it being done?
Of them,
is it being done?
Most of the Muslim community, I know, women, of course, many more than the men, are against triple talaq. Most educated men are against triple talaq. I'm saying, talking about instant triple talaq. It's only certain Maulvis and the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, which is a very patriarchal organization, which is redundant and should be closed down. They are the ones who are against triple talaq because of their own chauvinistic reasons and patriarchal reasons. But as a woman, as a Muslim woman, and coming from the state of Kerala, I must say that there is no triple talaq in my state. Nobody goes along with those, and nobody knows who All India Muslim Personal Law Board is.
There you go.
So my thing is that you should You should know
Kasmi,
that
it's the rabid
nobody cares
Maulvis
about.
who
Nobody
care
cares
about
this All India Muslim
stereotyping, because the
person
conservative
now.
element, if it's projected of a
We are all
community,
educated
will
people,
present
and
a
we need
very,
this-
very
we need
convenient
triple talaq to
other
go.
to the other forces. Why do you oppose it? It's a bunch of Maulvis who are opposing reform. Mr. Kasmi, why is that?
Yes.
Athar, let me clarify that all Muslim, including women, had triple talaq because Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is very angry about triple talaq. Triple talaq is a problem, but this problem will be solved by the community, from the people of the community. We don't.
But it's not in the Holy Quran. It's not in the Holy
Because
Quran. So what
government
are you
by
talking about?
intervening into this,
It's not in the Holy
taking the
Quran.
narrative.
It is not in the Holy Quran. There is no more need for discussion on it when it's
I
not in the Holy Quran. That's what
I
I
am
don't
not
understand.
supporting triple talaq.
It is a misuse. It is un-Islamic.
I am not supporting triple
This
talaq.
Eastern triple talaq is
I am not supporting
un-Islamic.
Madam
And
triple
Listen to
talaq.
him. He says he's not supporting triple talaq. You hear the man out.
Unhuman.
No, hear the man out. He says he's not supporting triple talaq. Hold on, sir.
We
Mr.
don't
Kasmi.
want foreign intervention.
No, what do you mean
into
foreign
religious matter.
interference? If it's against the law, it's against the law. Now, I understand your questions, perhaps not your question, but
We don't
also a
want
large part of the intelligentsia
intervention
as
of
well,
Prime
people who see
Minister.
through political games, like
Quran,
non-Maulvis.
Quran and
would-
Hadith.
Regarding Eastern
One
triple
second,
talaq.
one second, sir, please allow me. Now, Masum Akhtar wants to come in, and then I'll devote the best part of whatever time I have left to Dr. Swamy. But very quickly, Masum Akhtar, get your word in here. Masum Akhtar, nobody else, please.
People like them, they are
Masum
planted
Akhtar.
people.
There is no verdict in
Masum
Quran regarding the Eastern triple talaq. That is absolutely un-Islamic attitude. It's not only un-Islamic, it is also unconstitutional and unhuman. There's no rules and regulations in Islamic Holy Quran. We are creating this for our own benefit.
All right. Now, the
It
logical
should be
question
stopped
then.
for the
The logical
justice of
question,
the
and I
woman.
agree with that. No, one second. Masum
It should
Akhtar,
be
the
stopped
logical question then,
as
Dr.
soon as
Swamy.
possible.
Okay, fine, one second. Dr. Swamy, the logical question then to any sane-thinking individual would be, fine, you're against oral triple talaq, it's a bad practice, it's a regressive practice that needs to be gotten rid of in this day and age, but why restrict that, all the talk about gender justice, to Muslim women suffering from oral triple talaq? There are worse things that have been done in all other communities. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about the people who don't have to say talaq, talaq, talaq to make the life of a woman completely miserable. Why don't we talk about that? And in all other communities, nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about the people who don't have to say talaq, talaq, talaq to make the life of a woman completely miserable. Why don't we talk about that?
Well, you see, the case of injustice to women in other religious groups in India, of course, is something that should be condemned and fought and so on. But in the case of triple talaq, it's an extreme form where the woman is, first of all, you can get rid of her and put her on the street by just sending an SMS or a WhatsApp message.
No, that should be banned.
That
I
kind of
completely
thing,
agree. That
that's
WhatsApp
what really
nonsense should
shocks
be
people
banned.
to action.
That WhatsApp nonsense should be banned right
We are
now.
all against it.
Yes.
It's Muslim women have been fighting against it for
Yeah,
a very,
I'm
very
happy
long
about
time.
that. I'm happy. You also wanted amendment of the 1937 law. You are a progressive person, but you forgot one achievement of the Congress party, which was the Shahbanu case. That you didn't mention while you were
Let's
mentioning
not go back to Shahbanu case. Why didn't you do anything about it? You came to power in
All right, you went back to
1998. Why didn't you do anything
1956.
about it? Why didn't you do that?
You went
should
back.
have done
You went back
something
to
Shahbanu, whatever this
1956
thing.
to Shama
That
Prasad
happened 30
Maurya.
years ago. Because you mentioned, of course, because you mentioned
Well,
you're the only
but-
party doing progressive things. We have made the amendment in 2005 for the for the Succession Act. It was the Congress party in 2005. We've given
So
rights
the
to
only
women.
thing
So
you
it's
could
not just
mention
your
is-
party.
only thing you
we,
could-
we don't take a
only
bullhorn. The
thing-
difference between
only
us
thing
and
you-
you is we don't use a bullhorn. We don't take a bullhorn and scream on top of the voice. We've
Well,
been
only
doing
thing-
everything for
only
gender
thing-
justice.
Let Dr. Swamy
So
respond
please.
now.
Yes, we are fighting for
You
gender
people,
justice.
you take a
But
small
the
thing
thing
and
is
make
that-
a huge
Swami responds.
mountain
There
out of a molehill.
I didn't start as what you did. You started 1956, Shama Prasad Mukherjee, what he said, what he didn't say.
It is the truth.
Of course, you
So it is the
misquoted him
truth.
as usual, but I don't want to get into it. the issue, well, you may say that we can have a separate debate on that. The issue
No,
is
you started because you said you're the party.
No, one second. Shama Mohd, closing comments from Dr. Swamy. No more interruptions, please. Dr. Swamy, go ahead.
Yes, I'm only saying that this triple talaq sounds is an extreme form. There are other issues also, inheritance laws, and the fact that if after a breakup of marriage you want to remarry this again, then you have to do another intermediate marriage before you can do it. There are so many other things, and they are there in our religion too, and we fight them. We fought it in Sabarimalai when they said women, when they are menstruating, they cannot come to the temple. We said rubbish, and we got it stopped.
Right.
So let us come together and fight for a common cause, that is women's liberation.
I think the Prime Minister's call will mobilize some sort of consensus. We'll have to wait and watch whether or not the more radical voices, how long can they hold out. Dr. Swamy, pleasure speaking to you. Shama Mohd, Mr. Kasmi and Masoom Akhtar. That's a debate. But remember,